Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Vagina Healing Podcast. My name is Akira, and I'm a dietitian that helps women to heal from chronic vaginal infections. I help women heal from yeast, BV, mycoplasma, ureaplasma, um, aerobic vaginitis, cytolytic vaginosis, any and all vaginal imbalances and infections I help women to heal from. Today I woke up with this topic on my mind of because I'm thinking, what can I post today that can help someone get to the root cause or just help someone heal their vagina in general? And I thought I haven't made a post in a while on different imbalances or deficiencies that can contribute to vaginal infection. So I want to make this quick episode in order to teach you guys how to do so. If you resonate with this podcast, please leave a review or a rating down below. If you want to work with me, the link to that will also be down below as well. But to start off, I want to go over the fact that a lot of women who are dealing with chronic vaginal infections, it's not just a matter of taking a diflucan or taking a flagyl and then getting better, because when it's chronic, there's an underlying systemic issue as to why it's chronic. And unfortunately, Western medicine doctors are not trained to get to the root cause. They're trained to diagnose and treat with medication. So it's not the doctor's fault technically, because that's what they're trained to do, is just give medications to treat the symptoms. But if you want to get to a holistic root cause approach, that's where working with a provider like me comes in, or a naturopathic doctor, a functional medicine doctor. I did a podcast episode with another functional medicine doctor who was very knowledgeable on vaginal health. So if you guys check the episode out and you resonate with her, you can go ahead and work with her. But with recurring vaginal infections, when they're chronic, sometimes it's a nutrient deficiency, maybe it's a hormonal imbalance problem, maybe it's a gut health problem, maybe it's a blood sugar problem. So you can be throwing all the remedies at it: oil of oregano, fresh garlic, yogurt, probiotics, doing all these things. But if you don't know the underlying reason for your chronic vaginal infections, you're just going to stay stuck. And unfortunately, a doctor most likely is not going to be able to help you unless they're one of those doctors that I mentioned, or they could be a Western medicine doctor that's knowledgeable in it, because everything is possible. So, but from my experience of what I've seen online and from my clients, their doctors never help them or take them seriously and just keep giving them Metro, Flagyl, Diflucan, rounds and rounds and rounds, and nothing is working. So, um, with that being said, or sometimes it's a combination of all of the above things that I mentioned: the nutrient deficiency, the hormone imbalance, the gut health problem. And if your body is missing the nutrients it needs to maintain a healthy immune system, healthy vaginal tissue, healthy hormones, and a healthy microbiome, it becomes much more harder to maintain a lactobacillus dominant vaginal microbiome. So your microbiome is always constantly changing and shifting, and anything can change or shift it for the most part. Like, for example, stress, diet, lifestyle, environmental factors, the fabric of your clothing. There's so many different things that can shift it. And so I want to go over the major deficiencies and imbalances that can contribute to recurring vaginal infections. Number one, vitamin D deficiency. So, vitamin D plays a major role in immune function, inflammation regulation, maintaining a healthy epithelial tissue throughout the body, including the vaginal tissues. Black people are a higher risk for vitamin D deficiency because the sun blocks, not the sun, sorry, our melanin in our skin blocks the UVB rays from the sun that help to create vitamin D. And so that's why Black people typically have higher rates of vitamin D deficiency. Um, Vitamin D deficiency is also linked to anxiety and depression. Like, if you have anxiety, depression, whether it's seasonal or whatever, you need to get checked for your vitamin D level, because if they're low, you should be supplementing with vitamin D and also getting vitamin D through your foods. So um, lighter people can get away with like 2,000 IUs a day. Black people will probably benefit from more, like 4,000 IUs of vitamin D3 a day, but this all depends on your own level. So always get your levels checked before just blindly supplementing, because vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, so you can overdose on vitamin D because it can get stored in your fat. So vitamin D is really, really important. It's important to pair vitamin D3 with K2. So not just a D3 by itself, but with a K2, because vitamin D helps increase calcium absorption, while vitamin K2 helps direct calcium into the bones and teeth where it belongs, instead of allowing excess calcium to accumulate in soft tissues. So a lot of women take vitamin D without K2, but you should be taking D3K2. Sorry, D3K2 before taking vitamin D. Always get your levels checked. But if you're doing chronic vaginal infections and you have low vitamin D and you start taking vitamin D, This in itself can easily help to rebalance your vaginal microbiome. Let's see what else. And also for vitamin D rich foods, that's usually like dairy, cheese, sardines are really high in vitamin D. Mushrooms, there's not that much vitamin D rich foods unless they're fortified, but usually dairy, sardines, um, I just said something I forgot what it was. Dairy, sardines, and whatever else I just mentioned before that I forgot. Oh, mushrooms. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Two, iron deficiency anemia. So iron deficiency is one of the most overlooked issues in women because it's so normalized that I feel like no one takes it seriously. And it's super important because I ended up in the hospital because iron deficiency anemia because it caused uterine hypoxia. It's basically my iron was so low, it was at a 5, that my uterus was starved of oxygen and it caused me to have labor like contraction period cramps. So I was in a hospital and it was really, really crazy. I have a whole YouTube playlist on iron deficiency anemia education, and I have an ebook on the iron recycling system, how it works, and how to heal iron deficiency anemia from the root. But iron is critical for oxygen transport, immune function, energy production, tissue healing, thyroid function, and maintaining healthy mucosal tissues. So, women who are iron deficient are already at a higher risk of getting chronic vaginal infections because iron plays a role in the quality of your vaginal tissue and blood flow. So, if there's lack of blood flow to your vaginal tissues, then you can only imagine that that can cause issues. So, when evaluating iron, it's not just about looking at iron alone. You have to look at your ferritin, which is your iron storage, your serum iron, your iron saturation, your TIBC, your UIBC, your transferrin and hemoglobin, which doctors are usually not checking for. They're usually checking just for hemoglobin. But ferritin tells you how much iron you have stored. Serum iron tells how much iron is circulating in your blood at that moment. Transferrin is a protein that transports iron. TIBC and UIBC help us understand how much capacity the body has to transport additional iron, and iron saturation tells us what percentage of transferrin is actually carrying the iron. So, someone can have normal hemoglobin but still have significant iron deficiency symptoms. That's exactly why I wrote my whole entire ebook on the iron recycling system, because fixing iron deficiency is way more complex than taking an iron supplement. And it's actually not good to take an iron supplement long term. So, keep that in mind. But again, check out my whole entire YouTube playlist. That's completely free. And you can also purchase that ebook as well to help heal your iron deficiency anemia. But just know, if you're iron deficient, it can lead to increased period cramps. It can lead to obviously like headaches, fatigue, chewing on ice, smelling weird chemical scents, um, having recurring vaginal infections. You're more prone to being sick because anything that you're deficient in, you're basically in somewhat some way immunocompromised, meaning that you can get sick more easily because now your body has to work 10 times harder to then make up for those deficiencies until you put your body in survival mode when you were deficient in vitamins and minerals. So it's really important that you don't overlook these things, that you take them more seriously, because when your body's in survival mode, it does not prioritize healing, it prioritizes surviving. So it's working really, really hard to survive, and it doesn't focus on healing. When it comes to zinc and copper, so a lot of women take zinc daily for immune support, skin health, vaginal health. Studies have shown that taking up to 90 milligrams a day of zinc can actually help to reverse hidradenitis cyst and symptoms. But with zinc, zinc can actually deplete copper. And copper is required for proper iron metabolism, iron transport. So without enough copper, the body may struggle to properly utilize iron, even if you're taking iron supplements. So it's really important that you're looking at nutrient balance rather than just focusing on one single supplement. With any of my clients, I usually do put them on zinc for their immune system and also for their vaginal tissues. But I tell them always, after 30 days, no more zinc, to take a break because then it can deplete your copper stores. You can also find a zinc that has copper in it, but keep that in mind. Um, that if you take zinc daily, whether it's for like your immune system or your vaginal health or whatever, that it can deplete your copper, which can then deplete and mess up your iron levels, which can then also cause recurring vaginal infections. Now, when it comes to more so imbalances, you want to look at your intake of healthy fats, because majority of people are not getting enough fats or diet at all, because, or at least healthy fats, because they think that fats can cause weight gain. But we're dealing with low healthy fat intake. Your hormones are built from cholesterol. Your cell membrane requires fats. Your nervous system requires fats. Your vaginal tissues require fats. Fats are huge and essential for vaginal elasticity, lubrication, um, the tissue, the quality of your vaginal tissues and stuff, fats play a huge role in that. And so if you're constantly eating low fat diets or avoiding healthy fats, or you're chronically under eating, or you're deprived of the raw materials um, it needs for hormone production, tissue repair, because you're eating low fats, then you can experience more vaginal issues. So some healthy fats I usually recommend that everyone incorporates in all of their meals, because all your meals should have protein, fibers, carbs, healthy fats: avocados, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, nuts and seeds, grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee, fatty fish, egg yolks. The thing is that some of these fats are saturated, like grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee, and also coconut oil or full-fat coconut milk. Those you want to have more in moderation, but grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee are really high in vitamins A, D, E, and K, which is great. So have the more saturated fats that are healthier in moderation. Prioritize more of the the healthier fats, like that are unsaturated, like olive oil, avocado oil, nuts and seeds, stuff like that. But you should also be having fatty fish 3 times a week as well. Let's see. And if you and I discuss all of this in my 30-day veg reset ebook. I give you a whole breakdown as to how to eat, what to eat, the 3 macros, why you need them for reoccurring vaginal infections, why all your meals should have these 3 macros, how to eat regularly. So I do have the 30-day veg reset ebook that gives you a breakdown of how to eat, why, and also I have a 5-day veg healing meal plan that goes over different recipes for 5 days, that breaks down the macros for you and tells you the benefits of those meals specifically for recurring vaginal infections. So those 2 ebooks are really great to help you with learning how to eat better for recurring vaginal infections. Now, you also have gut imbalances and the gut vagina axis. So, the gut vagina axis is basically a bidirectional communication pathway in which the gut and the vagina are constantly in communication. And a lot of what's in your gut can play a really big role in your vaginal health, because lactobacillus can be transferred from the gut to your vagina. So, your gut and your vagina are always communicating. And many lactobacillus species found in the vagina originate from the gut. That's why it's important to have probiotic rich foods, prebiotic rich foods, resistant starches, and stuff like that, and a diversity of plants. So 30 different plants a week, from fruits, veggies, grains, legumes, nuts slash seeds. So, and also herbs. If the gut microbiome is imbalanced, inflamed, or depleted, it can make it more difficult to maintain a healthy vaginal microbiome. So this is where a GI map test can be incredibly helpful. So a GI map test is basically a functional stool test that regular Western doctors don't use it, but like a functional doctor may use it, a naturopathic doctor may use it, or functional medicine practitioners. Like, I'm a functional dietitian, and I have a lot of experience interpreting GI map tests. I actually offer it in the Vag Reset Advanced program. So that program actually comes with an EVI test and a GI map test included. It's a 6-month program. It helps you to get to the root cause of everything that's going on in your body, and I help you to heal everything, like your gut and your vagina, all in one program throughout the 6 months of working together. I basically help you to interpret your labs. I give you your own supplements. I give you your own personal protocol. You have 24/7 private chat support from me. You also have optional weekly. Sorry, it's not weekly. Sorry, you also have an optional 1 hour private video call once a month, and you basically have an entire vaginal health and gut health protocol that focuses on rebalancing your whole entire body from the gut. So in this program, you can expect, obviously, like vaginal health being back to normal, rebalance, better gut health and digestive health, better hormone and cycle balance, better skin, better energy levels, better metabolism, better immune system, whole body resilience. So this program is really, really, really great if you don't want to just heal recurring vaginal infections, but you want to actually heal your body as a whole and target other areas of your body, like your gut health. That program is really, really, really great for that. But with that being said, the GI map test basically gives you a whole entire rundown on what is going on in your gut, and like what is your composition. So it checks like for all your bacteria, fungi, viruses, parasites, H. pylori, gut inflammation, for leaky gut, digestive function markers. It checks for inflammation in your gut. If maybe you have intolerance to gluten, not celiac per se, but just like a sensitivity or something. So this test is a really great comprehensive test to show you what is going on in your gut, and why, if you're dealing with any skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, acne, or if you're dealing with any inflammation when you eat, or lots of bloating, gas, really bad smelly stool, you're not going to the bathroom every single day, or you just have some issues in your body, you want to get to the root cause, this test is so amazing for that. All of my clients who I recommended the test for and they took it, they had something going on. I've taken the test myself, and with me, when I took it, I realized my body was struggling with digestion. I had really high gut inflammation. I had an overgrowth of bacteria that was causing my acne. With other clients, clients have had parasites. Clients have had same thing with bacteria being overgrown that's causing their bloating. Clients have had issues with having leaky gut or having an intolerance to gluten. So you will be surprised at what you discover from this test, because it's usually literally like what you don't expect, and it may be something that can be contributing to your health issues. So this test helps us identify what may be happening throughout the gastrointestinal tract that can be contributing to chronic vaginal infections. So, if you want to join the Vag Reset Advanced program and you have questions about it, you can message me, or you can just go to my link tree and join that program. If you need a payment plan, let me know. But that program would be great for you to really have a whole mind body healing experience. Lack of vitamin C rich foods. So, vitamin C supports immune function, collagen production, which collagen is really important for vaginal elasticity and tissue repair, antioxidants, protection, iron absorption, and inflammation regulation. So, foods rich in vitamin C include like any citrus fruits, bell peppers, kiwi, strawberries, pineapple, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. And without adequate vitamin C intake, it can be hard for the body to absorb iron and also support tissue healing. So, vitamin C is also really important for your immune system in general. So, low vitamin C intake through food can obviously suppress your immunity and can cause you to get sick more often and deal with chronic vaginal infections. Then we have thyroid dysfunction. So the thyroid impacts nearly every cell in the body. And so poor thyroid function can influence energy production, immune function, hormones, digestion, nutrient absorption, vaginal tissue health. So labs that are important to check for your thyroid include TSH, free T4, free T3, reverse T3, TPO antibodies, thyroglobulin antibodies, because a lot of women think that their thyroid is normal after only having the TSH checked. They can still be having thyroid imbalance symptoms. And so a comprehensive thyroid panel gives you a much clearer picture. And because your thyroid plays a really big role in your hormones play a really big role in your vaginal health. So it's important to make sure that your thyroid is functioning optimally. And then lastly, I want to go over blood sugar imbalances. So this is huge when it comes to vaginal infections. Majority of my clients who get tested for their blood sugar always come back with some form of insulin resistance. And this is one of the biggest contributors to recurring infections, because elevated blood sugar can create a vaginal environment that supports microbial overgrowth and inflammation. That's why people that have prediabetes, PCOS, insulin resistance, or even diabetes will typically always get reoccurring vaginal infections like yeast infections, because it creates that yeasty, sugary environment that will allow for the microbes to overgrow and I want to say dominate in your vagina. So, labs to get checked for that, it will be your hemoglobin A1C, which is basically a 3 month average of your blood glucose, fasting glucose, fasting insulin, and your HOMA IR, HOMA-IR, which basically is checking for an average of your blood glucose and your insulin and can tell you if you have insulin resistance. So a lot of times what I've noticed is that clients will have normal A1C, but their fasting glucose, the fasting insulin, the HOMA IR will all be elevated or out of whack. So with these labs, one of them could be normal and the other ones could be out of whack. So it's really important that you get them all checked, because if you have insulin resistance or blood sugar imbalances in any way, this is 100% contributing to your recurring vaginal infections. That's why I tell all women, eat breakfast within the first hour waking up to control your cortisol and your blood sugar. Eat every 3 to 4 hours to maintain stable blood sugar levels and cortisol levels as well. Include at least 30 grams of protein per meal. Always have your carbohydrates with fiber in it and also with protein and fats on the side. As much as possible, try to avoid naked carbs, which are carbs without fiber or protein or fats on the side. Avoid caffeine on an empty stomach. Prioritize sleep, walk daily, and really get some physical activity in general. So, your blood sugar plays a major role in chronic vaginal infections. So make sure that you're following all those tips. But at the end of the day, recurring vaginal infections are often not caused by a single issue. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but oftentimes it's a result of multiple systems being out of balance simultaneously. So that's why I focus on root cause testing, so the EVI test, GI map testing. And if you want an EVI test, which is the at-home vaginal microbiome testing company that checks for microbes that your normal GYN does not check for, I do have a link in my bio to get $20 off for your first EVI test. I require all my clients to have it. But it's really about like root cause testing, to get into the root cause of what's causing recurring vaginal infections: nutrition, nervous system regulation, microbiome restoration, sleep, hydration, hormones, mindset, because the body works as a system, an ecosystem. If you really want a healthy vaginal microbiome, you have to support the ecosystem as a whole, not just trying to target the infection. That's why you need to really work with somebody that knows how to heal chronic vaginal infections. But if you want ongoing education, daily support, daily Q&A, live coaching calls, and access to my complete framework, then you can also join the Microbiome Makeover on Patreon. I post free education on there every single day, and it comes with all of those benefits, and it comes with a 7-day free trial. Or again, you can join the Vag Reset program or join the Vag Reset Advanced. All those links can be found down below. If you have any questions about my services, you can always message me or email me. I don't offer free advice or education in DMs because I can't give medical advice in DMs. I only answer messages about my services. So if you're serious about healing, then you either join one of my programs, you watch my YouTube channel, you listen to my podcast episodes, or you purchase any of my ebooks. But you have to help yourself first, by investing in yourself in order to then heal your chronic vaginal infection. So that's it for today's episode. I intend that this helped you all. I'll see you all for the next episode. Bye, everyone.